Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today, we are closing out officially the Galentimes and Goals series. I wanted to kind of just talk about what I've learned throughout these various interviews from different women and the top tips that stood out to me. I'd like to first start out by saying thank you to all of the women that participated, all of the women that agreed to come on and give up some of their time. These women are very successful business owners, moms, wives, some are multiple business owners. So I do appreciate and we're willing to pour into my audience. This series wasn't just about business or success or their top tips. It was about real conversations and wisdom that shows up when you're trying to build something. I conducted these interviews. I noticed something. The stories were different, but the lessons were the same. So let's dive into the biggest themes that kept showing up during these conversations. First is God. So a lot of the women talked about how everything started with faith. God was at the center of not only their personal life, but their business life. Women talked about how they wouldn't get on a call or a meeting or create a piece of content unless they have spent that time with God or invited God into that scenario and that situation. That message was simple but powerful. I feel like that message actually ministered to me and was sort of a reminder for myself that um, I need to I need to invite God in more in every aspect of my life. I think that sometimes we want to separate the two, business and God, life and God, finances and God, etc. And that was just a very simple, again, and powerful reminder that he really truly does need to be at the center of everything and invite him in. He cares, he can handle it. You don't have to do this walk alone, whatever that walk may look like for you. And if you don't believe in God, I mean, that's a conversation for another day. I would say just give him a try, not church, not people, not a religion. Give him a try. Otherwise, if you know, you know, and let this be your subtle reminder to incorporate him and invite him in and allow him to perfect every aspect of your life. And that doesn't mean that the journey is going to be perfect, um, but he just works everything out. He will work everything out for your good. He will make sure that everything is aligned, properly, and whatever's meant to happen happens, and that doors will be open for you, blessings will be open and poured upon you. His glory will shine on you. The fruits of your labor, will be blessed. That stood out to me. A lot of women mentioned that being like their number one either lesson or their non-negotiable. And again, these women do not know each other. None of them actually know each other. So they are women from really different parts of the country. And we even had someone that was out of the country. So include God in your decisions, include God in your plans, and include God in your goals. So that was number one. The second thing was to take care of your body. And again, a lot of these principles and mindsets can sound repetitive or cliche, or you can almost guess what I'm going to say next. But the key is that it really does work. And the thing is, for me personally, I know this and I've allowed myself to get distracted or come up with excuses. But when I actually put these steps into play, I truly, truly see the difference. And clearly, a ton of other women see the difference as well. So, taking care of your body, meaning working out, doing some sort of movement, showing up with your health. And it did not come from a point of physical appearance. From what I gathered was it helps them show up with more energy, mental clarity, allowed them to practice their consistency and their discipline. They slept better because they were working out, felt better, of course, looked better naturally over time. So that was step number two that kept on coming up in all of these conversations. So let's move on to the next one. The next one that kept coming up was boundaries. Boundaries with respect to cutting off maybe people or situations that we're not serving, or creating boundaries with work and home life. So, one of the women talked about how she has a strict cutoff time. That's a boundary that she created to say, okay, I'm going to dedicate such and such time to my business, to my clients, to whatever it is. But then at said time, I'm done. And now I'm dedicating that time either to myself or my family. So creating boundaries for yourself within your business, whether that be boundaries of when you're doing such things, whether that is boundaries of when you're going to be focusing on different categories or aspects of your business and life, or creating a boundary with maybe people that are not serving you, or they're toxic, or they're draining you. Boundaries are protection. So you can be kind and caring and still be very clear on what you will and will not accept or partake in. Okay, so now let's move on to the next one, and that was time management. Um, Again, a lot of these women were either multiple business owners, moms, wives, etc. So time management is key in their success. They were intentional on what they said yes to. This kind of goes along with the step before, which was boundaries. They made sure to eliminate distractions. They had times where they would focus on specific tasks. If you are struggling with this, I think the easiest thing, and I've mentioned this before, is to do the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique consists of an actual timer that you're setting up to focus on a task. This can help you maybe get started with the task that you're dreading doing. This can also limit the amount of time that you want to focus on a particular task. It can help you eliminate distractions. The way I've used it in the past was I start the Pomodoro technique, turn off all notifications on my phone or my computer, and then I solely focus on whatever that task is. You can use that for your business, or you can also use that for like tasks at home, maybe that you know you need to get done. That is something that has really, really helped me with time management. And it also has helped me with motivation because if I know I have to get something done, but I'm just really not, maybe I'm like scatterbrained or I'm really not into it, I'll set the Pomodoro technique and also use Rob Dial. That's where I got it from. I don't know where he got it from, but I'll use his 3-2-1 technique, which is a countdown. I've talked about this before. So let's say you need to start the dishes or you need to start a load of laundry. Let's say you're really not in the mood. What you do is you count down 3, 2, 1, and you get up, and you get up and start whatever it is that you need to do, that workout, that cleaning task, that business task, you fill in the blank there. So just remember with time, you can't recover lost time. So you really truly have to decide ahead of time what matters most. Okay, the next one that kept coming up was discipline. So discipline over motivation. Discipline came up a lot when they were either talking about their routines, so their morning or afternoon routines, or discipline within their business. Again, some tasks of or aspects of your business are your least favorite, but it's something that you know you have to do. For me, I will say that discipline has always been probably one of my biggest struggles. And it's because I really allowed my discipline to coincide with my motivation. So I would be super duper motivated one day of the week and then that fizzles out. Or maybe I have a headache now and I had planned all these things for tomorrow. It's kind of like when you say yes to an invite and then the day comes and you're like, oh my God, I overplanned. That version that said yes to you to those plans is not the same version today. So, what I have learned to do here is plan my goals and really just force myself to show up to and tackle whatever I have said to do. And this is why for me strategic planning is key because I'm not going to over plan or kind of like get too crazy with my tasks because I'm allowing myself some grace and allowing myself to just be human, be a woman, right? Especially us with with our bodies. Clearly, we have the time of the month, and then once you're done with that, you go on to menopause and all these things. I'm being mindful of that. I kind of work with my body. And if I know that like that time of the month is coming or I'm planning for something, I am strategic with my planning. Maybe I'm limiting my tasks, limiting my client appointments that I take that week, or kind of switching some things around, recording content or doing more of my creative things when I feel better, that sort of thing. That kind of helps get things done, but also have that grace for if you do wake up with migraine or cramps or whatever the case may be. Something I'm also learning with that is like not to beat myself up and say, okay, if you slept in a little longer, still get what I said I was going to get done, but also like listening to my body and being more forgiving and not so hard on myself to say, well, you said you were going to do this at 6 a.m. or, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be so strict. There really, truly, truly has to be a balance, but the discipline to say, okay, if I did wake up later, or I didn't do what I said I was going to do, I'm still going to try to make it up, or I'm going to create a plan to get that done tomorrow, etc. And I think really finding the balance between, okay, when am I going to push myself to do something that's hard? And when am I truly, truly going to listen to my body? And maybe I just need a day of rest, or I need to just kind of sit this thing out. Okay. And the final concept that came up over and over and over again, and I love this one because this is what I'm passionate about. Again, this is the reason that this podcast started, and that is community. They talked about how community is so important for various reasons. Entrepreneurship can be very lonely and isolating. Your community can support you, can celebrate you, can elevate you. It can fulfill you, right? If you've made it to a level of success where maybe you don't need to network so much because you've accomplished most of your goals, when now you kind of want to like pour into someone else or become a mentor, that can be fulfilling in other ways. It truly just helps you stay aligned with the right people, the right mindsets, engaging in the right types of conversation and activities. I mean, you've heard the saying, it's all about who you know, right? You can get plugged into a job, a career, a speaking engagement, an opportunity just by simply knowing someone. So community is huge. Community is, I think, it can be your backbone. You need to find your circle of people that can pray for you, uplift you, encourage you, support you, promote you. Tap into your community, whether that be online, in person, your family, friends, etc. I love that all of the women talked about that and that they were passionate about that just as much as I am. And that's the reason that they also came on and again took time out of their day to um, tap into us and be a part of our community on this podcast. You aren't meant to build this life alone. Just remember that. Okay, so if I could leave you with one summary, all the lessons that we've learned during this series, it would be this. Let your faith ground you. Let discipline move you. Let boundaries protect you. Let time be used intentionally. And let community strengthen you. The life you are trying to build is not just about what you accomplish, it's about how you show up while becoming the woman who achieves it. To every woman who shared their story during this series, I'm deeply grateful for you. And to everyone listening, I hope that this encourages you, inspires you, gives you confidence, allows you to move with grace, gives you clarity, and gives you hope to continue on your journey. That's it for our Galentine's and Goals series. I hope you truly enjoyed it. A lot of these women have agreed to participate in-person events or be on the podcast more. So leave a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback. Who would you love to see more on the podcast? Who did you resonate with the most? What tips are you implementing? What tips do you have to share with the rest of our community? Join me on this journey, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.